Welcome, LTV viewers and friends, to the July 24th, 2025 edition of East End News on LTV. I'm Christine Sampson. This is your community and your news. We start today's show in Sag Harbor Village, where the paid parking program is causing some major headaches. Sag Harbor's expanded paid parking program has left residents, employees, and visitors scratching their heads this summer. Exactly what are the rules? That's the question on people's minds.
I will say, a lot of locals are expressing frustration with it. We've been able to easily move around our village and run our errands and conduct our day-to-day business, and now there's like these extra crunch points and occasionally these nice little tickets on our windshields.
Parking on Main Street, ranging from 30 minutes to 2 hours, remains free. But on Meadow Street and Bridge Street, including the gravel lot commonly called the gas ball lot, parking will cost you a few dollars depending on how long you stay. Same thing on most of Long Wharf. Many people don't realize that in the paid lots, parking is free for the first hour, but you still have to log on to the Park mobile app and follow the prompts to claim that free hour. The Sag Harbor Chamber of Commerce has been promoting this detail in email blasts to its members and ads geared toward local residents.
Any of those lots, you get the first hour free. A lot of people didn't know that. That was something that the Chamber has promoted in our advertising and through emails to our membership. But you still need to sign into the app. And that's very difficult for people, particularly who aren't smartphone savvy or don't use their smartphone, don't have it, right in front of them constantly all day, every day.
A parking map is available on the village's website, color-coded to show what areas are free to park in and what areas require payment. Even so, business owners are concerned paid parking will discourage people from shopping and dining here.
So there's all of these kind of anxiety points that a lot of people have verbally expressed that they don't want to deal with right now. In general, anytime there's a barrier or a fee or delay into accessing something, the consumer is going to slow down and think twice about doing that.
An employee parking system was rolled out recently, though not without complaints, and first responders, including firefighters and ambulance crews, can park for free if they have placards on their vehicles. For the village, the intent was to bring in revenue to support operations. However, that remains to be seen at this point. Mayor Tom Gardella told us that traffic control officers have actually written about 1,800 fewer tickets this year because the new parking policies were not enforced in June. The mayor also told East End News that village officials will continue to tweak the program, saying, quote, "This is all in a pilot experimental stage right now. At the end of the year, I have to make a decision."
Unfortunately, Sag Harbor is a victim of its own success. It's always been, in my humble opinion, the best village out here. And finally, everybody else has figured that out.
The mayor continued, "There's always going to be a parking issue. It's amazing the amount of people that visit the village, which is great and shows how successful we are, but this takes time." This is Christine Sampson reporting in Sag Harbor for East End News on LTV. The Shinnecock Indian Nation heard some good news on July 7th from the federal agency that oversees land designations for sovereign indigenous tribes. The Interior Board of Indian Appeals, as this entity is known, dismissed appeals filed by Southampton Town and New York State that sought to restrict what the Shinnecock Nation can do with its land. The sovereign tribe is still fighting New York State over its electronic billboards on Sunrise Highway near Exit 65, which have been operational for years at this point. The Shinnecock are also sparring with Southampton over the Westwoods land, where they are building a travel plaza and gas station as a means of critical economic support. Southampton has sided with Hampton Bay's residents, who say the project will disrupt their quality of life. The decision of the Secretary of the Board of Indian Appeals is considered final and permanent unless otherwise overturned in a federal court case. Neither the state nor the town have filed such a lawsuit, at least for now. The South Fork creative community is rolling out the red carpet for the Academy Award-nominated film producer Richard Gladstein. He has just been named the new executive director of Hamptons Film, the nonprofit that puts on the popular Hamptons International Film Festival each October, as well as year-round programs, including the Jaws 50th anniversary screening at Main Beach just last night. Gladstein joins Hampton's Film from Brooklyn College, where he oversaw its graduate program in cinema studies. Through his production company, Film Colony, Gladstein has produced over 30 acclaimed movies, including many partnerships with Quentin Tarantino. He was nominated for Academy Awards for The Cider House Rules and Finding Neverland, among others. In a statement, Gladstein said it's an honor to join an organization that so consistently champions bold and diverse storytelling through film, saying, quote, "I look forward to helping build on that legacy." David Nugent, a familiar face around town, has now been named Hampton's Film Chief Creative Officer after serving as the festival's artistic director since 2012. Nugent said he's embracing this role at, quote, "a transformative time for the organization," and said he looks forward to working with Gladstein, whose leadership and passion for film is inspiring, he said. The Hamptons Film Fest will kick off its 33rd year on October 3rd. Assemblyman Tommy John Scavone announced this week that the New York State Legislature has secured $2.5 million for Riverhead Head Start's brand new facility. Last summer, Southampton Town was forced to condemn the Riverside Head Start Center over severe structural issues discovered during what was supposed to be a routine renovation project. This almost completely disrupted the program, leaving dozens of families scrambling to find universal preschool programs for their kids just as the 2024-25 school year was to begin. Scavone was joined in Riverside on July 22nd by Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie in announcing the state funding for a new modular building. Scavone said, "Long Island Head Start plays an essential role in the lives of working families. This new facility will give children in the Flanders Riverside area a safe, permanent place to learn and grow." The Wounded Warrior Project was in town over the weekend for the annual Soldier Ride Hamptons to raise money for veterans' causes. The funds raised go toward education, helping them navigate their VA benefits, helping them find jobs, and other types of support. Correspondent Dara Berger spent some time with these wounded warriors this weekend in Amagansett.
These brave men and women veterans are starting their third day of a 3-day soldier ride here in Amagansett, right where it all started just over 20 years ago. They got off the bus and were greeted with both enthusiasm and gratitude.
And a guy who worked at my bar, the Stevens Hawk House, came up with the crazy idea that he could bicycle across America in order to raise money and awareness for wounded soldiers.
At Wounded Warrior Project, we made a promise that we would be there no matter what, to bring every warrior home, mind, body, and soul.
Well, this is, I believe, our 21st year of doing Soldier Ride in the Hamptons. Soldier Ride is a national program that started actually here in 2004 with Chris Carney doing a cross-country trip. And so now we're doing a community ride. This is the third day of the soldiers doing a ride together.
The Wounded Warrior Project supplies special bikes outfitted to meet each of the veterans' needs. Jack Horner, who is a 24-year British Army veteran who sustained a spinal cord injury in Iraq, can be seen using a hand cycle bike that was provided to him for the event. He explained what made him come all the way from the UK for the soldier ride.
Yeah, this is my first event doing anything of this kind. Never been given the opportunity before, and the US, they do it. Phenomenal job. We don't get anything like this in the UK.
And if someone is having trouble, we help them over the finish line because, again, it's not about riding a bicycle. It's about the support that we give each other and to let everyone know that no one ever gets left behind.
And I can tell you, Nick Krause, Chris, and I can each name 20 people who came up to us and said if it wasn't for Soldier Ride, I would have committed suicide.
Data collected from the 2024 National Veteran Suicide Prevention Annual Report shows that an average of 17 veterans commit suicide every day.
It's hard for me to describe it. I'm just in complete awe of all this, and this really helps your emotion.
We're sharing our stories with the other veterans. We've all had some trauma, and it's good to talk about that trauma and be with other people who've experienced the same thing.
So just make yourself aware whenever the opportunity comes to realize that there's young men and women out there putting themselves on the line.
Horner was asked what he would say to veterans who are thinking about doing one of the many soldier rides across the country.
Go for it. Any opportunity like this, go for it. You won't actually understand this experience until you've actually been here.
Dara Berger reporting in Amagansett for LTV East End News.
The Spring School campus is a green wonderland these days, thanks to a new garden planted with all native species. The school's PTA has collaborated with the organization Rewild Long Island to install this brand new space, which is cared for by a team of parent and community volunteers. And it's not just pretty to look at. The district says this flourishing garden, quote, serves as a living outdoor classroom for hands-on learning and environmental education, making it the latest school in our community to do so. It is also a peaceful spot for community gatherings, as well as a serene retreat for students and staff to reflect, recharge, and connect with nature, according to the school. Behind the scenes here at LTV, our summer interns have been working hard to produce stories and videos that examine our local culture, history, and politics. Our interns were on the scene when the so-called Good Trouble protest took place last weekend. Here's what they saw.
Welcome to 159 Pantago Road. This is the site of the Good Trouble Lives On protest. This is a pretty nationwide event all across the U.S. People are coming out to protest the administration and what's been going on in the last few months. Let's go interview some people and see what they have to say. All right, what issues brought you here today?
I would say mostly the Constitution and the fact that Trump is trampling it. And I'm a lawyer, I studied it, but I've never seen such an abomination in terms of constitutional law.
We are pulling away from our international involvements, that the kind of compassion that we have had for 100 years in this country, helping to support famine in other countries, global health issues in other countries. It's a minuscule part of our budget, but we are saving lives, and by ending the funding for these programs, millions of people are going to die because of that. And I also want to mention that a lot of the food that we send overseas comes from American farmers. So they are also losing 50% of their income because we're no longer buying their products to help save lives. You want another 10 reasons?
If there's anything we can do to stop this guy and return democracy to this country, I want to be part of it.
It's no secret that wireless internet bandwidth is pushed to the max these days on the South Fork, but one local internet provider is doing its part to boost service. Jay Guy, Optimum's vice president and general manager for its New York service area, told us that the company made a significant investment in upgrades just in time for the summer.
We've made significant network improvements and investments over the past couple of years, but we're so excited to talk about, we have made upgrades on the East End to over 400 Wi-Fi hotspots. So that means our customers will be able to share photos, stay connected to loved ones, and really enjoy the East End of Long Island much more reliably, faster.
The timing of the project, while unintentional according to Mr. Guy, couldn't have been any better.
I think it's been scheduled for a while, and they've gone through the construction process, and it just happened to fall within right as the busy season and the peak times out. But this will not only benefit the busy season, it'll benefit the local residents and everybody from a connectivity perspective. So it's a win for all of us.
We go now to our community calendar for the scoop on what's happening around town.
The comedian Paula Poundstone has been busy lately with her stand-up shows, podcast, voice acting, and a panelist role on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. This Saturday, July 26th, she'll bring her smart and sharp style of humor to Bay Street Theater. Full details are online at baystreet.org. If you need some tips on caring for your furry, four-legged friends, the Animal Shelter Foundation will host a talk called Calming and Caring for Your Pet on July 27th at the church in Sag Harbor, starting at 4 p.m. Admission is free, but donations to the foundation are welcomed. The beloved ballet Peter and the Wolf will be staged right here at LTV Studios on Sunday, July 27th, featuring dancers of all ages from the Hampton Ballet Theatre School. Showtimes are 4:30 and 6:30 p.m., and tickets can be purchased online at ltveh.org. And in case you miss it, there will be a repeat performance at the Children's Museum of the East End on July 31st. Bay scallops. Whether you love to eat them or appreciate them for their ecological benefits, you may be interested in a lecture titled Bay Scallops, an iconic Long Island species. The talk takes place at the Montauk Lighthouse on July 29th and is free to attend with the purchase of regular lighthouse admission. Attention teenagers, dress for a mess and get ready to make some art at the East Hampton Library on July 29th. The activity is squirt gun painting out on the library lawn from 12 to 3 p.m. The event is free to attend, but it is weather dependent, so check the library website ahead of time. The work of Shinnecock photographer and artist Jeremy Dennis will be on display at the John Germain Memorial Library in Sag Harbor through August 25th. But ahead of that, at 1 p.m. on Sunday, August 3rd, there will be a reception to celebrate the artist and his work. The library website has more details.
Our last segment for today is Inside the Archives, with a special focus this week on the East Hampton farming community.
Inside the Archive is our weekly look back in time, thanks to the East Hampton Library's digital Long Island collection. The East End's rich soil provides locals with an abundance of fresh produce each year. Fruits, veggies, flowers, and herbs are harvested and sold at the many farm stands throughout the island run by local farmers. Summer season is when these farm stands especially thrive, with locals and visitors seeking out fresh and organic seasonal goods. And what you should know about organic farming: local gardeners and farmers share tips and recipes on the produce they harvest.
Okay, now what are you looking for if you're at the farm stand? What are you looking for in a bean?
I'd say the ideal size is right here. Okay. And then if you're going to, a little snap like that.
A little snap.
And, any vegetable at our stand, we encourage people to try them. So,
delicious.
There's always, samples. So.
But beets are just pretty easy to grow, right?
Very easy to grow.
And
they germinate quickly, and you thin them when they're about an inch high, and plenty of water.
These are just so wonderful, the green sautéed, and from the smaller ones, the leaves are supple enough that you can use them in salads. The bigger ones are great for sautéing, but I see people so many times at farm stands and supermarkets, they'll buy beets, take the tops off and throw them away. Right. They are throwing away an unbelievable source of vitamins A and C, and it's just so easy to cook and so wonderful.
I've become a farmer all of a sudden. Last year was my first year, back this year, full strong, 3 places now, and enjoying it. I like the exercise, I love getting the produce, and I like feeling as though I'm putting something back into the soil and back into the earth and preserving some of our planet. Small bit, but it's doing my part.
For East End News, I'm Lisbeth Leone.
Thanks for watching East End News, bringing you hyper-local headlines through the power of public access television. I'm Christine Sampson, and I'll see you again next week.